Students, today I continue the chapter 15, population growth and regulation. So in this, first is the growth curve. As we know, growth of a population can be expressed by a mathematical expression that is called growth curve. It is used in statistics to determine the type of growth pattern of the quantity, be it linear, exponential, or cubic. So, growth curve represent interaction between biotic potential and the environmental resistance. Now, there are two types of population growth curve. One is called the exponential growth curve and other is called sigmoid growth curve. So, first exponential growth curve, that is also known as J curve, in which there is no limit to population size. The logistic curve, also known as S curve, it shows the effect of a limiting factor. In this case, the carrying capacity of the environment. So first is the exponential growth curve. In this type of growth form, population grows exponentially and after attaining the peak value, the population may abruptly crash. There is increase in the population is continued till large amount of food material exists in the habitat. After some time, due to increase in population size, the food supply in the habitat become limited, which ultimately result in decrease in population size. For example, many insect populations show explosive increase in number during the rainy season, followed by their disappearance at the end of the season. So this is the equation which represents the J-shaped growth. This is the J-shaped graph curve. Now the next is called sigmoid growth curve. It is also called S-shaped curve. It is shown by the yeast cell and many other organisms. It consists of 5 phases. One is called lag phase, in which individuals adapt themselves to new environment. So there is no or very little increase in population. Second is called positive acceleration phase. Name itself indicating here the period of slow increase in population in the beginning. Third is called logarithmic phase. It is the period of rapid rise in population due to the availability of food, requirement of life in plenty, and there being no competition. Population tend to double with each generation so that growth curve rise upward. Now the next is called negative acceleration phase. Here again, slow rise in population as environmental resistance increases. And the last phase is called stationary phase. In this phase, growth rate becomes stable because mortality and natality rate become equal to each other. So there is zero growth rate. Now the next is called S-shaped sigmoid growth curve. This is a curve in which lag, positive acceleration, exponential, negative acceleration phase and the stationary phase shown. Now there is a difference between the S-shaped and J-shaped growth curves. In case of S-shaped growth curve, 5 phases are present, whereas 2 phases are present in J-shaped growth curve. In case of S-shaped growth curve, population size 0 growth rate, whereas in J-shaped growth curve, population shows a population crash due to rapid increase in mortality rate. Now come to the next characteristic of the population, that is called biotic potential. It is the inherent capacity of a population to increase under optimal environmental conditions. So, the factors allow a population to increase under ideal condition, potentially leading to exponential growth. Now, the next characteristic is called environmental resistance, that is also called population regulation. It affects the young more than the elderly in the population, thereby affecting requirement survival to reproductive age. Biotic potential affect the ability of a population of a given species to increase in size by the abiotic contributing factor as well as the biotic contributing factor. The environmental resistance also affect the ability of population of a given species to increase in size by the abiotic contributing factors as well as biotic contributing factor. Now the next characteristic is called carrying capacity. So, carrying capacity is the feeding capacity of an environment, of an ecosystem in a population of a species under provided set of conditions. It is also defined as the level beyond which no major increase can occur. The carrying capacity of environment for a population depend on the three major components, that is the productive system, protective system and assimilative systems. Next is the sex ratio. The number of females in a population per 1000 male is called the sex ratio. Now the next characteristic is called population fluctuation. It can result from changing environment. Population fluctuation can result from intrinsic demographic factors. Under extreme condition, population could in theory behave even in a constant environment. In the population fluctuation, this fluctuation is characterized by sudden increase in population in short time, which is followed by equally quick decrease in population size. They are caused by random seasonal or annual change in availability of resources like food or energy or temperature, rainfall. For example, more birds during early summer due to their hatching period, more insects during summer months and more weeds in rainy season. Now the next is called population dispersion. Dispersion is the spatial pattern of individuals in a population relative to one another. There are three basic patterns that can occur. One is called clumped dispersion. So, this is the dispersion when individuals are aggregated in patches. It is a most frequent pattern of distribution in a population because some area of habitat are more stable than the others. Heterogeneous environment with resources concentrated in patches. Tendency of offspring to remain with parents. Mating or social behavior of the individuals. Now the next is called uniform dispersion. In case of uniform dispersion, that is also called regular dispersion. Here the individuals are more or less spaced at equal distance from one another. This is very rare in nature because it is common in managed system, that is called croplands. Animals with territorial behavior tend toward this dispersion. Thank you. Please like and subscribe this channel if you like it. Thanks.